For today's project, I'm going to show you how to make a layered spike bow. For today's project, you're going to need ribbon, any styles, widths, lengths. It doesn't really matter. As you can see, I've just grabbed a bunch of different scrap pieces that kind of coordinate with each other. You're going to need a lighter to cure the edges of your ribbon, a needle, some thread, scissors, an alligator clip that you'll cover for the back of the hair bow, and a hot glue gun. I always start with my wide ribbon for the bottom layer. And you want to just decide how big you want the bow to be, and you want to cut your ribbon to those lengths. I'm going to make mine a 5 inches, so it's going to end up being approximately 4.5 inch bow. So I'm just going to cut some strips of ribbon. This is my bottom layer. I'm cutting them 5 inches, and I just need 2 pieces. You can do as many pieces of ribbon you want or as few. It really doesn't matter. It's just how full you want the bow to be. All right, so here's the ribbon that I'm going to use for my first layer. The second layer, I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter than the top or the bottom layer. So I'm going to take my next ribbon that I want to use for my next layer, and I'm going to cut them about 5.5 or 4.5 inches. Again, I really am just using scrap pieces. It doesn't take much. Okay, and then the next layer, I'm going to cut them again 1/2 inch shorter than the layer I did previously. So these ones I'm going to cut 4 inches. So there I've cut just several pieces of ribbon, different lengths for each layer of the bow. Next, you're going to go through all of the pieces of ribbon, fold them in half, and you want to start cutting from the folded side up to the open side to give it that V shape. And as you do this, you want to make sure that you take your lighter and cure the edges of the ribbon so that it doesn't fray. And you're going to go through and you're going to do this to all of your pieces of ribbon. On these last pieces of ribbon, because they're so thin, I'm not going to do a V cut. I'm just going to cut them at a diagonal. Now that all of my ribbon is cut and heat sealed, we can start putting the bow together. When you're ready to put your bow together, you want to just lay your ribbon out in a pattern or design order that you want them to go. Take your needle and thread, fold the thread in half, and then thread your needle. And you're going to take each piece of ribbon. I like to fold my ribbon in half and kind of give it a crease to find the center, so you can see the center. You're going to take your needle and just go up and down. Now I go down in the ribbon, or I go down with my needle, and then when I end, I come up. So it creates this crease. And you want to just hold the ribbon on your needle until you can get all of your pieces on. You want to do the same thing with each piece. Once you get all of your ribbon pieces on, you can pull your needle and thread and wrap your thread around and take it through the loop so that it ties it on there. And all you're going to do is just take the thread and just wrap it really tight around the center so you get it on there nice and snug. And then just knot just put a knot in the end to hold it in place. And I would just recommend doing a few knots to keep it nice and tight. And then just cut the excess thread off. So there is our first layer of our bow. And you're gonna do the exact same thing with the rest of your layers. All right, I've sewn all of my layers together. So now all I'm going to do is take each layer and I'm gonna put a dot of hot glue in the center. To hold the layers together. And then I'm going to take another piece of scrap ribbon to make my center for the bow. And all I do is just tie it in a knot. I'm just going to put a little glue in the center again. Then you just take this piece and wrap it around and glue it on the back. And then turn it around and you have a finished bow. Then all you need to do is attach it to your alligator clip. For tips on this project and other projects, please visit my blog at www.wordswithstyle.blogspot.com. Thank you.